Hi, hello, and welcome to my channel. In today's video, we are going to be going to the bookstore, but it's a little bit different than kind of like my last bookstore vlog. I'm not actually going with the intent on buying any books. I thought it'd be fun to kind of do a video where I buy books purely based on their cover and nothing else, but I also thought it would be fun to kind of get your guys' input on it. So essentially what we're doing today is I'm going to go to the bookstore, we're going to window shop together, and I want to do some sort of like voting, like in the comments, just kind of like vote which ones are your favorites or which ones you want me to read, that kind of a thing. These are cool covers, but I feel like I hear people say that these are really slow. So these are tiny though. Are they like broken up into
Yeah, I think so.
Smaller books? I definitely want to get this book at some point, but I think closer to the spine looks appealing to me. What the hell did I just read? Maybe that one. That one looks fun. This is the type of like photography that I like for like just like pictures in general, but not as much for book covers. But the back is interesting because you've got like the print kind of sideways. I'm always really attracted to super bright colors. Tiny Nightmares. It's kind of cool. It's kind of a cute cover, but I don't think I want to read that. I do think these Agatha Christie books have cool covers, but I don't know that I actually want to read. This one's kind of cute. Ooh, see, I like this. This is my favorite type of like photography style. Just weird, bizarre things. We're in the fiction section, and I feel like this is where I'm gonna find the covers, the most of them. This one's kind of cool. Flying Solo, that's kind of cute. Oh, this is a book that's on my list. The cover's pretty plain, but that title is drawing me in. I do like the cover of this book, but I've heard kind of mixed things on that one. This one's kind of fun, and it's called The Daughters of Sparta, so I feel like that would be something that sounds like I would want to read it. I really, really love the cover of this. This is a book I've always wanted to read, I just haven't done it yet. We're gonna try a method of just looking at all the bookshelves and see which one catches my eye. And honestly, immediately, that green one. Oh, Fight Club. That's actually kind of cool cover for that. Like, it makes it look like something that I would actually like pick up to read, even though I've seen the movie, so I don't have any actual interest in reading it. See what the young adult has to offer. And immediately, this one's kind of cool. All the pretty things. Is that like the author is anonymous?
Yeah, these are all.
Oh. Well, I don't really like the cover of that one as much.
Like published.
Huh, that's kind of neat. Ooh, this looks fun. Now that we're done with the bookstore, before we continue on into the vlog, let's take a moment to talk book covers. Here's a really quick look at all of the books that we're about to talk about. I was actually inspired by my last bookstore trip to do this video because there were so many book covers that I was drawn to, but this time around I really didn't find nearly as much. So I did turn to my Amazon wishlist to kind of pull more options from there, and I did break them down into 3 different categories because I definitely noticed that there was some trending looks among the book cover books. And the way that I'm kind of hoping this is going to work is basically we're going to go through each group really quickly, and then in the comments just kind of let me know which book cover from each group is your favorite. And the plan is to pick one book from each group. First one is the one that I'm honestly kind of leaning toward the most, but again, I want your guys' opinion. Tiny Nightmares. Pink is definitely a color that I gravitate toward the most, I think, when it comes to book covers, but also the black on the cover was like extra shiny versus like the rest of it. And I love when book covers have kind of like different textures or different coatings, I guess, like matte and shiny and that kind of thing. Actually, there was a book that I saw. I don't remember what it was called. I don't remember really anything about it except for the cover, but basically it was an image of like a girl's face, and I think she had like flowers or something in her mouth, but she had a tear going down her face, and that tear was like shiny and kind of clear. Things like that. I love that in book covers. Then we have Memorial by Brian Washington. Obviously the orange really grabbed my attention, but the imagery of the person that kind of looks like sushi, just, I love it. And then we have The Lemon by S.E. Boyd. And then we have Death in Her Hands, and this one is actually one that you saw me like specifically pick out from like a big bunch of books. Those 4 I did actually find at the bookstore. This 5th one is one that I've had on my Amazon wishlist for quite a while now. It's called Mouth to Mouth. I really like kind of bold black with bright colors. Also too, just the title of that one, Mouth to Mouth, is really appealing to me for some reason. It just sounds kind of random. I also have 5 in this category, and this one was honestly mostly from my Amazon wishlist. There was actually only one book in this category that I found at the bookstore, which was Bad Fruit by Ella King. This cover actually reminds me very much of Night Bitch, which is a book that I bought last year purely because I thought the cover looked really cool. I did end up DNFing that book, so I didn't actually like the book itself, but it is still like top 3, I think, of like my favorite covers of all the books that I own, which to be fair isn't like a whole lot. Next up we have Acts of Desperation, and this one's a little saucy. It's basically got like a naked girl, but I like kind of like the dark overall vibe with just like that bright, bold font. And then the next one is called Acts of Service. So we have Acts of Desperation and then Acts of Service, and both of these have very similar kind of vibes. And then we have Latvona. I don't think I'm saying that correctly, but this one again is just very simplistic with a bright, bold font and just a weird image of like a sheep. And then last but certainly not least for this category, we do have A Touch of Jen. This one just has like a really fun kind of weird image of like a girl crawling over what I actually thought was a cassette tape, but now that I'm looking at it closer, it's like an internet like pop-up window. This is kind of like a style that I found myself just recently starting to gravitate toward. And to be completely honest, I found all of these on my Amazon list. The first one is called Sirens and Muses. I just think this is super, super pretty. You can actually see at the top here, like the texture of like the oil painting on the image. I just think this is super, super pretty. And then we have Woman Eating by Claire Coda. The idea of vampires is like stuck in my head. She does have some like cracks on her neck, so I think I might just be making that up. And then we have A Certain Hunger by Chelsea Summers. This one kind of has that like dark, eerie type of vibe where it still has that kind of like old school painting look, but she's like gripping a heart, it looks like. There's a quote on the front of it. It says, "A certain hunger reads like a dark, delicious, feminist fairy tale." That sounds neat. And then the very last book we have is Big Swiss, and this one doesn't have that oil painting look, but I feel like the girl has kind of like a similar vibe. And this one I actually want like a whole separate opinion on because it does have 2 different cover options. The one that I originally saw was this one, the one for this category. And then the second option I feel like actually kind of mixes the first 2 categories together, where we have some like bold, fun colors. It's very simplistic overall. Kind of has like a weird but cute image and then super bold font. I really truly don't know which one I like better, so please help me out and let me know which one you prefer. I think I'm gonna give this video like a week to gather comments and opinions, and stay tuned for the book cover book to see which ones we ended up picking. But anyway, let's go ahead and get back to the vlog. We are back from the bookstore, and I didn't end up buying any books, but I did get a fish. I don't know if you can really see him, but I got a betta fish from PetSmart. I went there because I needed to get a new filter for my fish tank, and I was looking at the fish because I always do that, and this guy really caught my eye. I've never seen a black betta fish before. At the moment, I'm kind of thinking about naming him like Hades or something like that because it's just on the brain because I've been reading the Hades and Persephone retelling. Also too, we do have a couple of books that I ordered from Amazon that just arrived today, so we're gonna go ahead and open this up and see what we got. I mean, I know what we have, but you don't know. The first book that I have is Daisy Jones and the Six by Taylor Jenkins Reid. Amazon is actually going to be doing like a TV show of this book, which actually premieres tonight, I believe. And I mentioned this in my last video, but I thought it'd be fun to read this book and then watch the premiere as kind of like a video idea. This is one of those books that a lot of people talked about last year. A lot of people loved it, and I actually don't know what it's about, so let's find out. I think it's about like a band or something, but that's about all I know. Daisy is a girl coming of age in LA in the late 60s, sneaking into clubs on Sunset Strip, sleeping with rock stars, and dreaming of singing at the Whiskey A Go Go. I've got a fur on my lip that needs to a go go. Okay, also getting noticed is The Six, a band led by the brooding Billy Doon. On the eve of her first tour, his girlfriend Camilla finds out she's pregnant, and with the pressure of impending fatherhood and fame, Billy goes a little wild on the road. Daisy and Billy cross paths when a producer realizes that the key to supercharged success is to put the two together. What happens next will become the stuff of legend. That's definitely not typically something that I usually read, but again, I thought it'd be really fun just to kind of like read something and then watch the TV version of it right after. But I also got The 7.5 Deaths of Evelyn Hardcastle by Stuart Turton. This book sounds like it has like a really cool kind of concept. It kind of sounds like a murder mystery, like Clue type of style book, but with also kind of like a Groundhog's Day kind of theming to it. So it says, at a masquerade ball thrown by her parents at their English country house, Evelyn Hardcastle will die. She will die every day until Aidan Bishop can identify who murdered her and stop the killer. At the beginning of each day, Aidan wakes up at the Blackheath house in the body of a different guest of the gala he attended the night before. So those are the two books that I got from Amazon. Now I'm going to spend the rest of the day cleaning out my fish tank because we need to get our new little fish friend into a home. But aside from that, I think that's everything that I have for this video. I know it was kind of a weird one. Hope you enjoyed it anyway, and yeah. I hope you have / have had the most amazing of days, and I will hopefully see you guys in the next one. Bye!